Good morning from Yami BTV. Wishing you all well, of course, right? Hope your weekend is going the best it possibly can as well, right? Now, look, just having my early morning coffee. Now, this subject matter is a rather sad one, an eye opener. Also, a message in it as well about parents selling drugs around their children, so to speak. Also, at the end of this, a poetic justice story to the main subject matter that brings this talk to light, right? So, selling drugs around children, your own children or any children that you live with, puts them at risk. We know it's a nasty old game, drug dealing, full stop. It doesn't happen a lot where your children or children around you will end up getting murdered by other dealers or other rivals that you've fallen out with when they come to shoot you or come to confront you and all hell breaks loose. It happens very rarely that a child might get shot in the crossfire. But in recent times, it's happened more and more and more. Now, this case goes back to the early millennium, and we are talking Tony and Byfield, right? Joel Smith from Northwest London was convicted of her murder. So a 7-year-old Tony Ann Byfield gets shot in her back, right? Her dad, not her real dad, a big scream up in this case with Birmingham child welfare that he had previous convictions and shouldn't really have custody of his so-called stepdaughter in reality. Now, he'd been involved in scrapes before, Bertram Byfield, right? He got shot first, alleged by Joel Smith, right? So she's running away screaming. He decides to shoot her in her back, right? Whew, what a cold-hearted man. But in a lot of these cases, a lot of men, cold-hearted men, will not want to leave any witnesses around at all. Yeah, so think about that as well, even though it was an unwritten rule that we should trouble people's family. But some men will go to the absolute extreme levels to take everybody out so nothing can get them later on. But this geezer was a little bit thick anyway because he told everyone what he'd done, but it didn't really mean, I didn't mean it to go that way. Like I went to murder the stepfather, but she just happened to be there. Okay, well and good. He went on trial and he ended up with 40 years. Whilst giving evidence, he started talking about other Northwest gangs that were the people that actually done these horrific 2 murders, right? And they were already serving life in the Cat A's, right, at the same time. So they were listening to the trial, thinking, you're using my name to try and get off because I'm doing a life sentence already. Those geezers that were convicted and got up those other life sentences, they wouldn't be shooting. They would definitely not be shooting no children. I know them pretty well, right? So get on this. He comes to the Cat A's, right? He's gone on the protection wing, and there's a little gate in one of these Cat A's where you can talk, call people through the gate fence stroke thing to the people on the protection and get them so that you can talk through the door. So I was on the landing with a few of these yardies, right, when all this was going down. And I could clearly hear them saying to Joel Smith, don't worry, Big Don. Just come over, man. Nah, man, you shouldn't be over there. Come and join us. You're one of us. But I couldn't believe what I was hearing, mate. I was thinking, not a white and black thing and all that kind of, but there was geezers looking and thinking, well, we don't want no child killers over here, mate. But wait a minute. It was the old Helen of Troy trick, right? So he's going, yeah, you sure I'm going to be safe when I come over and blah, 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 blah. So he signs himself off to 43. R says, no, I don't need to be over here. I've got friends over there. Let me go over there. I'll be safe. And they said, well, listen, it's down to your own, your thing, because you're signing. It won't be our fault if anything happens to you. He goes, nah, nothing can't happen to me. So he comes over they get round him and the cooking facilities are there. They're cooking up dinner for him, right? They say, "Yeah, don't worry, come and eat with us." And da, 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 da. But in the kitchen, everyone was looking sideways. No one wanted, because the harsh reality was that they was planning to wipe him out, right, with the cooking oil and that, right, so the hot fat thrown over him. And he's talking, one of them's befriending him and talking about all the time he's going like, he's looking to the right and left. I was at the door, I said, sus now. I sussed. Because they don't want to be the last man, and when they come in, and the yardies do it different. Every culture does these things different, right? So the man comes, he vacates, just says, hold on and watch the stove. So that geezer vacates, right? And a man comes in, but he sees him coming with the fat and ducks. So only a little bit of the oil gets on his back, I think, right? Not really scalded bad like that. But he makes a run for it on the ones to try and... That time, there's about 6, 7 geezers there, and they just weighed him in with koshes, with iron bars, stabbed up, everything, right? Screaming like a baby. Yeah, you needed to think like that when you was doing that to your victims. But they absolutely annihilated him, right? So he'd never come back on normal location again. He had to run back on the protection wing via the outside hospital first. But it is always a feature that when you're a criminal, right, when you're involved in it, you might not believe that you're doing anything wrong by, well, I'm making money, I'm looking after the children, I've got to put food on the table and blah. But there is always a possibility that it can go badly wrong. Even this stone age now, where dealers and rivals and gang postcodes, and no one's got any kind of empathy or sympathy for anyone's plight again in that life. And we don't want it to be your mistake, your sins, and your misdeeds that when, all right, yeah, I can deal with it when they come for me and all that. You don't want it to be your fault if anyone around you suffers, dies because of your lifestyle and your bad deeds, all right? See you all up in a little while.